And what does he mean by that?
Well, he's talking about the shift in focus towards profitability as a company grows.
Okay.
In the early days, you might be okay with burning through cash
Right.
to acquire customers and grow quickly.
But eventually,
You'd eventually,
you need to start making money.
exactly, you
Yeah.
need to become sustainable.
And this is where things can get really tricky,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
right? Because you're growing,
Yeah.
you're hiring.
Investing in new technology.
All of that costs money.
Yeah, it's a balancing act.
So how do you balance that growth with the need for efficiency and profitability?
Well, he shares a cautionary tale about how his operational costs spiraled out of control at one point.
Oh.
He had to take drastic steps to regain control and steer the company back towards financial sustainability.
It's a good reminder that growth isn't always good,
Right.
especially if it's not sustainable.
Exactly. You can't just grow for growth's sake.
You need to have a solid financial foundation.
You need a strong core.
Yeah, to support that growth.
Otherwise, the whole thing can collapse.
So what kind of advice does he offer for avoiding that pitfall?
Well, he emphasizes the importance of implementing systems and processes that promote efficiency.
Okay.
So things like streamlining your workflow, automating tasks, using data to track your key metrics.
So it's about working smarter, not just harder.
Exactly.
And I bet that also involves making some tough decisions
Oh, yeah, for sure.
about where to invest your resources.
Absolutely.
Because you can't do everything at once.
Especially when you're operating with limited resources.
And that can be a really challenging skill for entrepreneurs to master because there's so many ideas, you want to pursue them all.
Right. It's easy to get distracted by shiny objects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess it comes down to being strategic and making those tough choices.
Yeah, you have to prioritize.
And this kind of ties into another key point. He makes money doesn't solve everything.
The myth of the magic money tree.
You'd think having more money would make things easier,
You would think so, wouldn't you?
but that's not always the case.
Not necessarily. In fact, it can create new problems.
Oh, really?
Yeah, increased funding often comes with higher expectations.
Okay.
Greater pressure from investors. Less room for error.
Oh, so it's almost like you're under a microscope.
Yeah, the stakes are higher.
And it can also lead to a false sense of security.
Oh, absolutely.
You suddenly have all this money in the bank, you think your problems are solved.
Right, you start spending more freely.
Right.
You hire more people.
Yeah.
You take bigger risks.
But it's not a guarantee of success.
No, it's not.
So money is a tool,
Exactly.
not a solution.
That's a means to an end.
You still need to have, those fundamentals in place. The team, the processes, the brand.
And the mindset.
Right.
The right mindset is crucial.
It's a valuable lesson, especially for entrepreneurs who are, chasing funding as the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
It's not the be-all and end-all.
It's a piece of the puzzle.
And one thing he emphasizes throughout this article is the importance of iteration. He says that mastering these challenges takes multiple attempts and a willingness to learn from failure.
Right. You're not going to get it right on the first try.
So it's not about, being perfect.
No, it's about being persistent.
Yeah.
Trying things out.
Yeah.
Learning from your mistakes.
Adjusting your approach.
Absolutely.
And never giving up.
Never give up. If you believe in your vision, you got to keep pushing forward.
And both of these sources that we're looking at today really highlight that, that the startup success is a marathon.
It's not a sprint.
Not a sprint.
It's a long game.
Yeah, it takes time and effort and resilience.
And a willingness to learn.
Yeah, and to adapt.
Absolutely.
So let's delve a little deeper into how these two sources compare and contrast.
Okay.
What stands out to you?
Well, first and foremost, both sources highlight the importance of mindset.
Okay.
Building a successful startup is as much about mental fortitude as it is about strategy and execution.
You need that resilience.
Yeah.
To bounce back from the setbacks. That grit to push through the challenges.
That unwavering belief in your vision.
Yeah.
Even when everyone else is telling you you're crazy, you got to believe in yourself.
And that ties into the second common thread, which is the emphasis on learning from mistakes. Both the I Love Coding founder and Lyack openly share their failures.
Yeah.
And what they learned from them.
It's refreshing to see that kind of honesty.
Right, because the reality is everyone makes mistakes.
Absolutely.
Especially in this fast-paced world of startups.
You're constantly learning on the fly.
Yeah.
You're making decisions with incomplete information.
So it's not about, not making mistakes.
It's about how you handle them.
Yeah, how you learn and grow from them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a valuable lesson for anyone.
Absolutely.
Not just entrepreneurs.
It's a life lesson.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's perfect.
So one key difference between these two sources is the stage of the startup journey they represent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the I Love Coding blog is all about those early stages.
Yeah.
You know, building a foundation, finding those first customers, figuring out the basics.
Right.
Whereas Layak's article takes us a little further down the road.
Deeper into the trenches.
Yeah, into the complexities of scaling.
Yeah.
Beyond that initial phase, he's wrestling with different challenges.
Bigger challenges.
Yeah, like building that leadership team.
Yeah.
You know, establishing those processes,
right,
driving operational efficiency. And that contrast really highlights that evolving nature of the startup journey.
Yeah.
The skills and strategies that work in the early days may not be enough to navigate the challenges of scaling.
It's like leveling up in a video game.
I like that analogy.
Each new level brings tougher challenges and requires you to develop new skills and strategies.
You got to level up your skills as you level up your business.
Exactly.
What's fascinating is that even though Layak has, you know, scaled multiple companies, he still emphasizes that importance of continuous learning.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't present himself as having all the answers,
right,
but as someone who's constantly learning and adapting.
He's still a student of the game.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's a reminder that even, you know, experienced entrepreneurs are always learning and evolving.
Absolutely.
This world is constantly changing, so you have to change with it.
You got to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah. Now, before we move on, I want to pose a question to you, our listener.
Okay.
Think about the challenges we've discussed today. You know, building a team, establishing processes, scaling operations. These are all external challenges, right?
Yes, challenges that exist outside of the founder themselves,
right,
in the real world, so to speak.
But what about the internal challenges? The self-doubt.
The fear.
The pressure to perform.
The loneliness of being a founder.
Yeah, how do you manage those internal hurdles while also tackling the external ones?
That's a great question.
It is a great question, and it's something we're going to explore in just a moment.
I can't wait.
That's such an important point to bring up. You know, we often focus on those, you know, external visible aspects of building a business.
Yeah.
But those internal struggles are just as real.
Absolutely.
It's sometimes even more daunting, I think.
Yeah. They can be crippling if you let them.
And they don't just magically disappear.
Right.
When you hit a certain revenue target or raise a big round of funding.
No.
In fact, sometimes it feels like they even intensify.
Yeah, the pressure mounts.
Yeah.
As the stakes get higher.
And I think Layak even touched on this in his article when he talked about that pressure he felt after that big funding round. You know,
right.
Suddenly the expectations were through the roof.
Yeah, you got investors breathing down your neck.
Right.
You got to deliver results.
There was less room for error.
And you're probably working longer hours.
Right.
More stress.
Like us carrying around this invisible weight.
Yeah, it's a heavy burden.
Yeah, and honestly, it's something we don't talk about enough, I think,
right,
in the startup world.
Yeah, it's kind of a taboo subject.
We celebrate the big wins, you know, but we often shy away from those conversations about the mental and emotional side of building a business.
It's like we're afraid to show weakness.
And there's almost a stigma, isn't there? Like you're not supposed to admit that you're struggling.
Right. You got to project this image of confidence and success.
That you're always crushing it.
Even if you're falling apart inside.
And that can be so dangerous.
Oh, it is. It can lead to burnout.
Right.
Depression.
Yeah.
Anxiety.
It prevents founders from seeking support.
Right.
From being vulnerable, you know, and sharing those experiences.
And learning from each other.
So how do we change that?
That's the million-dollar question.
How do we create a more open and supportive environment?
Yeah.
Where founders feel comfortable talking about these internal challenges?
Well, I think the first step is simply acknowledging that they exist.
Okay.
You know, we need to normalize the conversation around mental health and emotional well-being.
Yeah.
Within the context of entrepreneurship.
Okay.
It's okay to not be okay.
And maybe it's about shifting our definition of success too.
Right.
You know, instead of just focusing on those external metrics like revenue and growth, maybe we need to start valuing things like resilience and self-awareness.
Yeah.
And the ability to navigate all those ups and downs that come with this journey.
Absolutely. Because those are the qualities that will sustain you in the long run.
Right. It's not just about building a billion-dollar company.
It's about building a sustainable business.
Yeah.
And a sustainable life.
Right.
You got to take care of yourself.
You got to take care of yourself.
If you want to take care of your business.
I think that's such a powerful message. And it brings us back to, the two sources we've been diving into today.
Yeah.
While they focus on different stages of the startup journey.
Yeah.
Both the I Love Coding blog and LAX article really emphasize, those less glamorous, less talked about aspects of building a business.
The behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes them so valuable, especially for someone who's thinking about starting a business.
Right.
They offer a more realistic, grounded perspective on what it really takes to succeed, beyond the hype and the highlight reels.
Yeah, it's not all rainbows and unicorns.
Right.
There's a lot of hard work and sacrifice involved.
They remind us that building a business is as much about the inner journey as it is about the outer one.
Absolutely.
You have to be prepared for the challenges.
Right.
Both internal and external.
Yeah.
And develop strategies for overcoming them.
You got to have a plan.
And one of those strategies, as Layak pointed out, is iteration. It's about constantly experimenting, learning from your mistakes, adapting your approach.
Right.
You're not going to get it right on the first try.
Nobody does.
And that's okay.
It's part of the process.
Yeah, it's about embracing that process
of
trial and error and learning and growth. It's about being resilient.
And persistent.
And never giving up on your vision.
Never give up.
And another key takeaway from both sources is the importance of community and support.
Yeah, you don't have to do it alone.
It's not a journey you have to take alone.
Surround yourself with people who understand what you're going through.
Yeah, people who can offer guidance and support.
And celebrate your wins with you.
And don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it.
Right. There's no shame in that.
There are so many resources available to entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
From mentors and advisors to online communities and support groups.
Yeah. And even just talking to friends and family can be helpful.
It's about recognizing that you don't have to have all the answers.
Right.
And it's okay to reach out for support and guidance.
You're not superhuman.
Sometimes just talking to someone who's been there can make a world of difference.
Absolutely.
So as you continue on your own entrepreneurial journey, remember, it's okay to make mistakes, to stumble, to feel uncertain at times.
It's all part of the journey.
It's all part of the process. What matters is that you learn from those experiences and keep moving forward.
Don't let setbacks define you.
And I think that's a perfect note to end on. We've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah, we have.
From the excitement of those early startup days to the complexities of scaling.
The ups and downs.
And the importance of addressing both the external and internal challenges of building a business.
It's a multifaceted journey.
And we hope that this deep dive has given you some valuable insights to ponder.
Yeah, food for thought.
As you embark on your own journey.
Absolutely.
Remember, success isn't a destination.
It's a journey.
Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride.
Yeah, it really is about the journey. And I love how these sources, encourage us to think about that journey in a more holistic way.
Yeah.
Considering not just those external metrics of success,
but
also, the internal resilience and well-being.
The human side of it.
Of the founder.
Yeah, the founder's journey.
Yeah, and that human element is so often overlooked, right?
It is.
We get so caught up in the hustle and the metrics.
The numbers.
And the constant, striving for growth that we forget to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, we neglect our own well-being.
Along the way.
It's easy to do.
And self-care isn't just, about bubble baths and meditation. It's also about setting boundaries.
Yes.
Knowing when to say no. And building a support system.
Very important.
That can help you, weather the storms.
Yeah, you need people you can rely on.
Yeah, those are all crucial aspects of building a sustainable business and a sustainable life.
Absolutely.
It's about finding that balance between pushing yourself to achieve your goals and taking care of your mental and emotional health.
It's a tightrope walk sometimes.
Yeah, and that balance is going to look different for everyone.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
There's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
So the key is to be self-aware, to understand your own needs and limits.
Know thyself.
And to prioritize those.
Yes.
Alongside your business goals.
Don't sacrifice your health for your business.
And that kind of brings us back to that question you posed earlier.
Okay.
About those internal challenges.
Yeah.
That entrepreneurs face. How do you manage those feelings of self-doubt and fear and pressure?
Yeah, the mental and emotional roller coaster.
while also tackling all the external hurdles
Right, because it's like a double whammy.
of building a business.
You're dealing with stuff on the outside and stuff on the inside.
It's a great question, and there's no easy answer.
No.
But I think one of the most important things is to just acknowledge those feelings.
Yes.
Don't try to suppress them.
Don't bottle it up.
Or pretend they don't exist.
Yeah, that'll just make it worse.
Give yourself permission to feel those emotions, to be human,
to be imperfect,
to have those moments of doubt and uncertainty.
It's okay to not have all the answers.
It's all part of the process.
It's part of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. And once you've acknowledged those feelings,
Okay.
then you can start to develop strategies for managing them.
Right.
And that might involve, talking to a therapist or counselor.
Yeah, therapy can be really helpful.
Finding a mentor or support group.
Or even just talking to a trusted friend or colleague.
Yeah. Developing healthy coping mechanisms.
Like exercise.
Exercise, meditation.
Meditation.
Spending time in nature.
Nature's a great healer.
Whatever works for you.
Yeah, find what works for you.
It's about building that resilience, both mental and emotional.
Yeah, so you can bounce back from setbacks.
And weather those inevitable storms.
Because they will come.
That come with entrepreneurship.
Sooner or later, you're going to hit a rough patch.
And it's about recognizing that asking for help is a sign of strength.
Absolutely.
Not weakness.
It takes courage to ask for help.
There's no shame in seeking support.
No.
When you need it.
In fact, it's often the smartest thing you can do.
And I think that's a really important message.
Yeah.
Especially in a culture that often glorifies, that lone wolf entrepreneur.
Right. The rugged individualist.
Yeah, the one who grinds it out alone.
Yeah, the superhero myth.
And never shows any vulnerability.
But it's just a myth.
And it's a damaging myth.
It is.
Because building a successful business requires
a strong support system.
A strong support system. A network of people who can offer guidance and encouragement.
And a listening ear.
Yeah. And building that support system starts with being honest with yourself about what you're going through, about the challenges you're facing.
Yeah, both internal and external.
It's about creating a culture of openness and vulnerability.
Yes.
Both within yourself
and within your team.
And within your team, if you have one.
That's where true strength and resilience come from.
I love that. So as we wrap up this deep dive,
okay,
what are some key takeaways that you hope our listener will walk away with?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that the entrepreneurial journey is more than just metrics and milestones.
Oh, right.
It's also about personal growth, resilience, and finding that balance between pursuing your dreams and taking care of yourself along the way.
And that it's okay to ask for help, to be vulnerable, to embrace those moments of doubt and uncertainty as opportunities for learning and growth.
Absolutely.
Don't be afraid to reach out to your network, to seek guidance from mentors, to learn from the experiences of others who've walked this path before you.
There's a lot of wisdom out there.
This has been such a rich and insightful conversation.
I've enjoyed it.
Thank you for sharing your expertise.
You're welcome.
And for helping us unpack these important topics.
My pleasure.
And to our listener,
yeah,
we wish you all the best on your entrepreneurial journey.
Absolutely.
Remember to stay curious, stay resilient, and never stop learning.
Those are words to live by.